the same thing. I don't want to say it.
Sometimes she's oblivious.
I hit like 2 or 3 times. Ring, ring,
Oh,
ring.
I feel like I need to cover her head.
She'll be okay for a second.
4 seconds.
It does.
Yeah, Papa wired it.
Is it
But
locked?
that's been a long time ago, so
It's
he's still right in his head. I think Grandma's like, why does Jesse keep doing this?
Surprise!
Surprise! We would like to tell you about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Hey, Grandma. Good morning. Hello. Hello. This is the best party I've ever had.
Hold on.
Gosh, how many is it of y'all?
That's all of them.
It's all because of you. Look there, it's Ellen. Woo, woo, come, baby. You're not kidding. Good night. We got rid of the little kids and we gave you big kids instead. I'm speechless. If I'd have known y'all were coming, I'd have cleaned that up. You shouldn't have known. Good night in the morning. This is wonderful. Wow.
Oh,
Lord. I wanted to go see her.
See, I brought her.
I know what I'll do.
Actually, I stole her.
Thank you for coming. Good day. There's my baby. Oh, my God. I'm getting another one from you. Oh, this is so good. Where are your little kids? With John. Oh, that's right. That's why the big kids had to stay home. John's not here.
No.
Oh, perfect. Needs. So it wasn't really hard times. It was easy times. Yep. Good kids. Well, I guess the sheriff called and said John outran the deputy in his Mustang. So, you know, that was the big thing. But now,
Each time we got that car on the road.
yeah.
That's what that means. That was a big thing.
And then the principal
That's a
called
win.
and said Leonard rode the motorcycle down the middle of the hall at the Westford High School. And then Susan. Well, I can't tell you what she did. Because you wouldn't believe it.
That's even more
She
than
was
you
just
should
that
tell
good.
me. Right?
Yeah.
She was that good that I never found out.
Yeah. Yep. So they were good kids. We didn't have any problems. But then I got the grandchildren. Mostly boys. And Roy had to build them a ramp. And the ramp was out in the garden. And here they all come, riding their bikes over the ramp. So all I had was a heart attack every few minutes. They rode, didn't you? You rode the ramp, then you jumped. And then Cody came along. And Cody had this little long, what did you call that thing? It wasn't a mud puddle, it was a mud something on it.
It was a mud something.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your front yard.
Yeah. But there was a creek in the backyard, back in the woods. And Cody said, "Come on, Grandma, I want you to go riding." And I want to take you riding, Grandma. Well, I don't even know if he knew how to drive. See? But he did take me riding, and when we got to that little creek, it was down there like that. And so we went down there like that, and then we had to come back up like that, you know. He said, "Hold on, Grandma, it's okay, it's okay." I didn't want to anymore. 13. I didn't know when that was. Cody was 13.
I've seen this before.
I thought it was before 2012.
If it was in the mule, we got it when we did the trailer for
Well,
the pig.
it might not have been. Was it the mule something else?
I think it was the
Was it?
Got it.
Okay. Well, I should have known better. Yeah, you lie over at 2012. And
Nerd.
Why don't we go around and each of us like share something special, a memory about Grandma.
oh dear. Okay.
So playing with the Tonka trucks, the toys that you
Yeah.
had out there, I remember doing that. I can't remember why, but you would have me look through your manual for the car because I enjoyed like figuring out
Yes.
what different buttons did,
Right.
and you would put me on a task, figure out what this does, and I'd go.
I
do it.
remember
I
that.
enjoyed that. But the biggest thing I remember is I think it was when Jake got that go-kart, and this was on a Cub Cadet, that bigger riding mower,
Yeah.
and you came up there into the field when it was real tall, and you mowed us a track. Do you remember that?
Absolutely.
She mowed us a track.
You
in
couldn't
the
see
field.
the top of her head.
Yeah, it was really tall. And she
All over her head, but she was riding that Cub Cadet.
yeah.
It was a yard track, yeah.
And
That
it
thing
made
was
us
awesome.
It made us like a racetrack all through the field right there.
Problem
Me and
is, she
him.
cut dead ends, and my go-kart didn't have reverse.
I forgot about that.
Remember that? You ride across, and you run into a dead end, and we're like,
Did you go straight through?
yeah,
What are you gonna do?
find another one.
Yep.
Yes, I remember that like yesterday. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was so much fun. So much
It really
fun.
was.
Well, Brandon and Jake got into all kinds of trouble. I
No.
mean, they took Bee's wheelchair up to the top of Custer Drive and ride down it. One of them pushed and come
Was
right
I
down.
involved in that? No, you weren't involved in that. She just roped you in. That was me, my own game. That was Buddy and Alex.
Oh, that's right. That was a wild game. You're right.
Take that out. What do you
No,
want?
no, no.
I don't want to talk to nobody.
I'll talk to him.
I'm like, I don't know.
Well, you go talk to him. That's Pennsylvania.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know nobody up there.
I don't either. oh, they're probably gone by then.
Radiology, this Brandon.
Brian.
Too late.
Nobody there.
Oh, okay, they call that.
I was gonna offer him a berry minimum.
Special and mobile.
Me.
No, when you helped me cut that trail through the woods, that was one of the best times.
Trail through the woods.
Yes. I got busted riding my dirt bike wide open down Red House. Tom Keys called my mother. Jacob called your mother. I was riding wide open up and down Red House. And I'm like, well, how do I get from John's to Grandma's? You can't get to the woods. And I come back yelling, screaming, crying to you. Well, let's cut a trail. So you got your snips.
Chainsaw.
I forgot about that.
It was a pair of snips. I'm like, we're never gonna get that. But me and Grammys, we got
did
that.
it.
We did it. So we just snapped branches from A to B all the way to the woods
This
to where
is
I had a
wonderful.
trail to stay off the woods. And it was really nice. I couldn't run wide open like I wanted to, but it was still nice.
Yeah.
But that was one of my best friends. I'm like, she actually got out there and snipped out
Uh-huh.
everything.
And it's being used to this day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we branched off of it several times from then because I'm like,
Yeah.
well, Grandma did this with a snip. So we
Imagine
can make
what we
all
could
sorts
do.
of trails.
Yeah.
It inspired us.
So we actually walked back in the woods today, me and the boys, and looked at like how we could connect Jane's place to that old trail.
Yeah.
So they could go from there to y'all's place and then up to Mom and Dad's through that trail.
Did you figure it out?
So there's a bunch of ravines,
Yeah.
like big ravines.
Yeah.
So we're still working on it. We're still working on it.
We'll have an excavator and am a front end loader or whatever it is you need to knock over ravines next week. Watch.
Bridges.
I was gonna say bridges might be.
There's some creek days where you will
Well, I was gonna
lose a
say.
road bike.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I mean,
Right,
it's
and you're
like,
"One."
yeah.
You don't know it till you get there, and you're like,
Don't tell Joel that. Did he see that?
What's that?
Joel saw those drops.
Yeah.
You let him see that?
He can't even get his bike back there yet, so
Oh, he's gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, the second borns.
good for him. Go for it.
If anybody can do it, it's him. So,
That is so true,
Yeah,
he's
though.
gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so good.
I don't know if we were on good memories or bad memories, but I do remember the one time that I made Grandma mad was when she came to look at Stephanie's hamster.
You
And
had a hamster?
she did not want to look at the hamster already. Grandma didn't like hamsters. But she was willing, and
Because
she
it was a rat, that's what it was.
she knelt down next to that cage and was looking at it, and I had just gotten a fake rubber snake. So I right around her neck it went, and boy, she left down there and went straight home.
You had like a big palace for one, didn't you?
It wasn't huge, but yeah, it was bigger.
I remember. Okay, I do remember this. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I learned a lesson from that one.
I might have messed up. When Grandma don't speak to you for a week.
Yeah, you messed up.
Oh, you're lucky I didn't run over you on the way out.
You know?
One of my funniest with Grandma was when we were kids and she was in the apartment with Granny, and Jenny made her mad. And she got a fly swatter and she was going for Jenny, and she rounded that corner and up them stairs, and she finally caught Jenny on the sofa. And I sat there and I laughed so hard until she turned around and saw me.
I don't remember whipping you.
Well, I remember the one. Well, this isn't the memory I was going to share, but I have to say this because Jesse said this. Jesse and I were fighting at your house. We were spending the night, and we were.
You
fighting.
started it.
I probably did, but I don't remember what happened. I just remember I got a spanking, and that's the only one I remember. I was right in front of the bathroom door. Like I was trying to run away, but you caught me, and that's where I was, at the bathroom door. And that's what I remember. I remember taking a
Just
bath
another
because
Granny.
my memory was like I always would pack my suitcase, and Mom would drop me off at your work. And every Friday night, you would get your double mint gum and hand me a piece. Or was it double mint?
It was double mint.
Double mint gum,
100%
and it was.
green
I remember
pads.
sitting. I put my little suitcase in the back seat, and I would sit in the front seat and talk your head off the entire way to Grandma's house.
You didn't.
And you always make dinner, and I would put my pajamas on and make sure your bed was okay while you cooked dinner. And I just remember sitting in your tree reading all the time. One time I fell out, but
I remember sitting in that tree in the
the
front
tree,
yard.
like that
Everybody
one, that one branch, I would sit there and read.
Which one was it?
That one
Like
straight
which
in the middle.
side? Oh,
Like
okay.
straight
Right
in
the
front
middle
of the
front
house.
yard.
Just past the.
Near the little black
spigot.
white boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did he go?
I don't know. Where did he go?
He's in the woods.
No.
He likes the way in the
Old
trail.
man.
Oh, I don't
Yeah, he's
remember.
hiding
I'm
in
just
the
trying
woods.
to recall what
He's part of the
happened.
underground.
He's either in the woods or in the landfill, and I can't remember which.
I think he got painted at one point.
Yeah, that's
He
why I
did.
called
Yeah,
him.
we painted him. He had an
Did he
adventure.
get painted back black? Grandma went politically correct one year. And I was like, that's supposed to be an interesting. Jake, the times are changing.
Won't one of Granny's nurses black? And we didn't want to offend her. Was that it?
You said something about the nurses.
I think it was one of the nurses.
I don't know. Yeah, the one that came to base.
I remember when you took me and Jenny to Washington, D.C.
I remember that.
That was really good.
I thought we were like breaking into somebody's house because they were
We
awake.
did.
That was the one.
Turn it off for confession.
This is somebody's house, and you said, "I don't care. There's a bed. We're gonna sleep in it."
That was,
Yeah.
y'all know Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What's
Crawford.
Crawford. Yeah.
that's
Uncle
who.
Joe.
Yeah.
Okay, he said that he lived up in Sterling, Virginia, next to DC. And he said, I'll give you the address. Well, we didn't have GPS, so how we did this, I don't know. But I had the big bomb, that big Oldsmobile, and we rode that, Jenny and Alan and me. And he said, now we'll be in the bed, just come to our house and come on in. Well, we're talking about Sterling, Virginia, up at DC, where they have all these houses. And all of them look exactly alike. And it's dark. It was about midnight when we got there. And I saw a car parked in front of this one house. And I didn't see a number. And I said, this must be the house. Because this is where I quietly opened the door and we quietly went into the, whatever, I guess, the first room. And, and they said, now when you come, just come on upstairs to bed. So
Well, you and I were on the sofa bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I tiptoed up the steps and got into bed, and the next morning it was the right house.
He had breakfast ready for us and everything next morning.
So then we got on the subway and went into DC and spent the whole day in Washington. I wanted them to see.
They said we were going to the mall, and I found out the mall wasn't the mall. It was
the
Grass.
mall.
It was grass. And I'm like, well, where are the stores? And Grandma's like, Jenny, this is called the mall. And I said, it's just grass.
Yep.
That was good.
It
I
was
remember.
good, wasn't it?
It was.
After I got over the fear of breaking and entering.
And we sat on the sat out on the sidewalk up there and ate pizza for
I
lunch.
remember that.
Yep.
Went through the museum.
Is that when I saw Dorothy's shoes?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right.
Did you cry then too?
I did.
She always cries. Yep.
When we went to the Wizard of Oz with Barbara, she laid on the yellow brick road and bawled like a baby. She laid flat on it. She said, "Take my picture." And she lays down. And then she's just bawling. And then Dorothy comes out, who's not Dorothy. And Dorothy comes out singing. And me and Barbara left her because she was bawling. She would not stop. And it was uncontrollable, gasping. And I'm like, and she's just, I was like, it's a song.
This is so good because usually this happens after I'm gone.
Well, you wouldn't hear about it then.
I know it. Y'all would be sitting around going over all this, so you won't.
Oh, you'd still be here though, because remember, we're just gonna stuff you.
Yeah. I know.
That's what we landed on. We're mounted.
Yeah, she's gonna come to holiday still.
She's taking me to the taxidermist.
Oh.
And I will be with y'all at every occasion.
In 48 years though, because
Move her
that's your
around
time.
places.
Yeah.
You scared the heck out of me.
Grandma in the corner.
You open the shutter. Oh.
Grandma at Jenny's window just looking.
Grandma's going to give me a heart attack.
I know she's gonna dream about that tonight.
Here comes Grandma. Dropping her at the front door.
So many of my grandma memories are of Grandma caring for us. When I got chickenpox, I stayed with Grandma, and she used to fight over when we got in the car. She didn't want the air blowing right on you because it was going to get you sick. No matter how hot it was,
Put a hat on
no air on me.
Put a hat on
Because
that
it was
baby.
going to get you sick.
Yeah.
And I would take a bath at her house, and the water couldn't be warm enough because it was going to burn you.
Yep.
And in the
The
And it
summer,
was sweet. And we spent so many summers doing all kinds of fun things. And she made it fun for us.
Mm-hmm.
we sat up on the bed and did flannel graph Bible stories.
I love that family.
Yep.
Checkers, a lot of checkers.
Yeah.
A lot of checkers.
Cody and I, would go most days during the summer, and she would have a new Bible verse written on a card for us every day.
Aww.
Oh.
Well, see, that's the beauty part of living where y'all live, in the country. Because Grandma and Grandpa live next door, and the kids are on the bikes going everywhere. So that's a wonderful part of it. You're all together on the farm.
Yeah.
So you have good memories.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them might have taken you through the woods and the creek, but you survived it.
And that's why I spend my summers down
Yeah.
just so I could house hop.
Now, John and Donald will have this. One of these years, they'll be sitting in the chair. And Joel and Jackson and Adelaide and little Missy, she'll have teeth in it. She'll be telling her story.
She's hungry now.
Yep.
I remember it didn't even matter if we had a seatbelt on. Your arm was coming across the car.
Yep.
Whoop.
Oh, so that's where Peter gets it from.
Hit the brake. Whop.
Yep. Well, see, most of my cars didn't have brakes.
That old trash truck you
I
got.
was just about to say, I'm gonna drive that green trash truck.
You had like an old, I think it was 76, it was a 70-something model Ford, a green truck.
Yeah.
And I never drove on the collar.
Yeah,
I knew how to run a clutch and gears.
Yeah.
Been on tractors and trucks, but never on the column. He said, well, get in and drive. I gotta run to the dump anyway. I'm like, really? He said, yeah. And I drove to the dump. Don't.
I don't think I was in my right mind.
That's the only truck I drove on the column.
How about that?
Yeah, that was your old trash truck.
Yeah.
That's not, it was a different one that we did the burnouts in, right? Don't look at me like that. He's backing up from me right now. What are you talking about?
Who's hungry?
Little feign innocence for years.
No. It meant nothing to my everything.
Counter accusations. He's gonna throw you
It
under the
wasn't
bus
that
next.
one, I don't
I
think.
never
no.
had a truck
It-
that would do wheelies.
It
Not
was
that
an
you-
automatic. I
Isn't it?
remember. It was a gray
Not
truck.
that you're aware of.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh!
No, it was a
She
1500.
did. She got the Chevy, the old.
Yeah.
It was the newer Chevy. It was like a '96 model. It was a 20 years middle.
That's right. Yep.
It was a single cab silver truck.
Huh.
It had the front end like your truck had.
Exactly. Yeah.
It must have
We
been
were
that
taking
one.
the trash, I think.
I think
I think it's
it
what
looked
we're
like the old Elam truck, and it might have been the old Elam truck. You might have got
I don't
That would
know.
make sense. It might would have been.
you might have got hold of that one, but
Probably. I don't
I
know.
was teaching me to have a line like it and hold the brake. It wasn't a 5-speeder on the column. It was a straight automatic. So I mean, you could hold the brake and lay into the gas. That back heel would stand up and you could roast it.
Huh. Really?
Hey, we got the trash where it needed to go.
And I was so proud of y'all.
Well, we did a great job.
Such a good one.
Yeah.
That's why our cars never had no brakes. It's all coming full circle now.
So one time I had my dirt bike, which stayed on your carport most of the time. All the different dirt bikes.
Yeah.
But one time I broke all this, and I was just got out of my cast, and they had put a brace on my arm, and they said you can't do any type of muscle anything, no lifting weights, no nothing. Here's your brace. Well, it had been so long since I'd been on a dirt bike because I was in a cast, and that bike had a clutch. Well, you said I'm going to town to get groceries, Walmart, Food Line, whatever. I'm sitting with Granny Southern. You said, stay off that bike. And I'm like, yeah, And you were running to town like you did every week, and I'd sit with Granny. Well, then that bike was calling my name. So I go out, and I'm like, I'm just gonna, well, my hand was so screwed up, I had to take this hand and pull the clutch in. Then I could hold it.
That should have been the first morning.
I got to ride, and every time I had to change the gear, I'd pull in the clutch. And I go off in the woods, just checking on my trails, moving sticks, doing this, doing that, having a good time. Well, then it got to snowing. It was cold. It got to snowing out there in the woods. In the yard and everything filled up with snow. And I'm like, oh no. Well, I came back in, and you could still see a tire mark in a wet spot on the carport, and you chewed my tail.
Good
So
for
ain't no
me.
getting rid of that.
She was in the house, she was doing all right.
Yeah.
I gave her a cup of coffee, put on the radio. You didn't have to be by her side the whole time.
I was. Granny babysitting. I was right by your side.
You didn't have to be by your side.
Well, I
No
was.
wonder you're living,
But yeah,
all of you for that.
I'll say that applies just about all the
Yeah,
males
that's
in the
right.
family.
Yeah, that's for sure.
yeah, I was.
And to
I was-
Jenny,
I
too.
was dirt biking some four-wheelers.
I
All
was
the
hoping
accidents.
for safety, but I was hoping a blizzard would come and cover up the tire marks. I had a prick coming out of the woods straight to your carport, spun the bike around, parked it just back where it
It
was.
looked back.
And there's a track. I'm like, oh. No.
So you should, next time you get the broom and you brush those tracks, like they do on Gunsmoke.
You might have told me that later on.
Yeah.
Grandma, it's too late for him. You need to be telling Gage that.
Pass that on to the next
Back
generation.
and
Y'all
Age
don't
has
want
been
to tell
learning
your
from that
boys
one that
these
learns from
stories.
that one.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So he's smart.
I was just thinking that second born thing plays out well with our kids, but not as well with, you know, the current company.
Oh.
I've been telling all their kids the stories. I don't know.
You have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the stories.
Yeah.
He's contributing.
You
to
should not be telling them.
Yeah,
those
he's like, well, no,
stories.
Mom, it's fine. I can do it because Cody did it when he was this age, and
Right.
he said that Dad did it too. So
Oh, gosh.
I might have been in Minnesota or some other state. And Cody's
you were in
like-
Wisconsin.
Cody's like, what
That
you
was
got
when-
going on tonight? And I was like, I'm way out of state. Like, I'm 20 hours away. He's like, oh, I was going to stop by. I'm like, you can stop by whenever. Next picture I get, Tiff sends me.
It's 12:15 at night, like middle of the night, 12:15.
Cody's laid up in the kitchen floor looking down the stairway with a paintball mask and what looked like to be AR. And I see Gage. And Cody's like these snipers. I'm like,
All the lights in the house are on, all the doors are open. I was about to go to bed at 10 o'clock, and here comes Cody Keys, and he's like, "Where's the kids at?" I'm like, I don't know. I was going to bed, and he's like, "All right, I'll find them." Grabbed the paintball mask, Nerf gun, stuffed his pocket with Nerf bullets, and found the kids, and they played for a couple hours.
Well,
yeah, so he can sit there and say all he wants to, but he's contributing to he's in the story.
maybe fishing is a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe not quite as dangerous.
You been on a boat with him?
Have you ridden to the lake?
Yeah, go to the lake.
Don't
Make
get
that
back,
ride.
just ride.
Get on the boat.
I don't think I want to.
If you survive the mule, you'll survive anything.
Oh, that's true.
You think Grandma on it right now.
Oh man.
Broke me on the go.
I don't think you will get her in that boat.
This is really nice, y'all. I really appreciate it.
My favorite memories now are being beside her. It's so fun. And I know how to make her cornbread. I mean, I can't do it, but I've seen her do it 100 times, and I might can do it one day.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know exactly how that goes. Because I watched Caitlin's granny fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
She makes some really good fried chicken.
Mhm.
And I'll go home and I'll do the
Yeah.
exact same thing. Exact same thing.
Don't come out.
It's nowhere even close.
You don't make it with love like she does.
I think it's the bowl. So just so you know, I'm taking that bowl. None of y'all are getting it. I'm getting that bowl.
In fact, I wrote my name on the bottom of it.
Well, Caitlin's granny can cook, so
She
you know,
can cook
anything
very
she
well.
cooks is good.
Somebody's got to be able to make that cornbread.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned it when we came in, right? Someone said, "Oh, there's some
Yeah,
cornbread
the
there."
cornbread. I saw it. Yeah.
I heard something about pork chops too.
Ooh, yeah. Pork chops.
It's pork chops and cornbread.
Pork chops
Oh.
and applesauce and cornbread. Yeah.
Always some cornbread on the counter.
Yep.
If I got up in the middle of the night, you could always count on some cornbread.
That's
in there. I'd take a slab of butter in it.
Yeah.
Mm.
The sherbet in the freezer downstairs.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. There's always sherbet.
Nobody bought sherbet except Grandma.
Yep.
You didn't even want sherbet till you was a grandma. You know,
Why don't you always put the
that's pretty
cookie?
good.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, I have good memories of Granny like that. She loved Christmas because when she was a little girl, they didn't have Christmas. You know, they'd get an orange or an apple, and then they have to go back to work. But when I was a little girl, she made sure we had Christmas. And she didn't have the money. She worked and she didn't make a lot, but she paid the bills. So she went downtown to the finance company. And usually that's where the poor people went, and they paid big interest. It was like a credit card today, only you had to go in and get money. So she went in and she got a loan, and she bought us everything we asked for Christmas. And it took her all year to pay it, but she did. And one memory I remember, she loved coconut cake, and she made a good one, but it was fresh. And she had bought the coconut, and she couldn't get it cracked. So I remember her sitting in the floor, that coconut all over the floor, and her wrestling with it to crack it open. But she got it cracked open.
Oh, I bet.
Yep, she did.
She won't go let that
I
come
was saying she wouldn't stop till she did.
No.
Did you learn a few words that day too?
No, she wasn't doing it.
No.
I heard she could really drive. Like if there was a chicken coop around.
That's about to say
Yeah.
One through.
Yeah. I think that was Corey and Jason wanted, or Corey, was it Corey and?
She told me that story several times. I
Was
asked her
it
why
you,
she never
Brandon?
got a license.
I don't recall that. I don't
Corey
think
was,
so.
and it was a kid with you. And,
Probably what it is.
you know, that where her trailer is,
Mhm.
and to the right where she parked, there was a chicken coop at the back. And so they got in her car and drove right into the chicken coop.
Somebody's gonna teach her how to drive, I believe, right?
I guess it was them,
Yeah.
but it was two of them,
Yeah, it won't
the
be.
way I remember it, but
I was a kid when she was telling me that story, because I was asking her, why don't you ever drive?
well, then it was Corey and John.
Because we loaded
Yeah,
up, and
That might be.
Don would come around in his van, and he'd pick her up, and I happened to be there a lot of days,
Yeah,
and me and her and Don would ride to town and get her groceries.
so it was Corey and John that did it. Yeah, John would be able to tell you that memory. Yeah.
I've heard similar stories about swimming pools. They're good though.
Yeah, now you have the queen of the, yeah. Yeah.
Oops.
It wasn't me though.
You've had every accident since.
I recognize
Every
the spot.
accident.
Every accident since then has been Jenny. When she's on a first name basis with the cops and the cops have mom's number, I'm like, hey, it's your daughter again. She's in another one.
Leonard said I can pre-print everything you need to know about her.
Yeah.
We're that way with the school nurse over here. She calls me once a week for Joel.
Joel. Jack's quiet. Joel.
Yeah, but I was joking with her the other day. I said, you need to get a chair in there with his name on it. He got his own spot.
Well, I made the mistake of giving him some Motrin because he says he sprained his ankle. So I gave him some Motrin so he'd be quiet because he was just, Mommy, it
gosh.
hurts, Mom, it hurts. And now he's like, Mom,
Man.
I need this bubblegum pills. I said, oh no.
Oh,
So we're going to have to stop taking those, buddy.
the Department of Social Services.
Yeah, this is being recorded.
Well, I mean,
We'll cut that part out.
so I said, go get some ice, she'll be alright.
Our school nurse just texted me.
Does she? Oh, well, you weren't there.
Jenny, we got Jacob in here. He's fine. Okay.
Like,
Y'all
well,
need to
call
put me
you
on
for
the
Joel.
list, and I can run her there and get him whenever. You know.
You mean once a week?
I'm surprised they haven't started walking up here.
I know.
It's a big commitment.
Yeah, you have to get a pass.
I mean-
Like going to grandma's.
Joel tells me all the time, he's like,
Right.
Grandma just lives right there. I'm like, yeah, she does.
Just right.
I can see him sneaking away.
Yeah, I go out and sit on the porch, and I hear them down there on the playground playing. And I always say, I heard Joel. I know I heard Joel or Jackson won.
You heard Jack.
You probably did.
Joel got hurt, but you heard Jack.
Seems like you've been down that road before.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You
Pizza's
hungry?
probably cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's eat.
Want some pizza?
Yeah, I do. Oh, I wonder, you think Stephanie's about ready?
She ought to be.